How did Vinland Saga turn a standard villain of the week into one of the most interesting and deep characters ever made? Now that seemed like a pretty simple question, but then I thought about it and realised something that annihilated my understanding of storytelling, as you do, because Askeladd never changes. From his introduction to his final scene, he is the same character with the same motivations, money and his secret loyalty to Wales, and yet, by his last episode, he feels like an entirely different character. Actually how? Well, first we gotta start with the obvious. Askeladd is clearly undergoing some kind of character development, and since he never changes, we know what's being developed. Not Askeladd himself, but the way we, the audience, see him as. Now, most fictional characters, including ones in Vinland Saga like Thorfinn and Canute, undergo a character progression let's call the arc method. You know when you see it. A character has a problem in their life, and they experience plot events and/or characters that challenge their problem. The arc ends when the character succeeds in overcoming their problem, or they don't. In any case, that experience changes the character in a deliberate way. So if Askeladd doesn't have an arc, then what kind of character progression does he experience? Honestly, I don't think I've seen many people talk about this, but I know it exists. I'm not mad because I've seen it in other stories, with Askeladd being the best execution of it I've seen in a while. So, to pin it down, I've named it and tried to identify its attributes. So now behold my newest creation, the onion method. Because say it with me now. Layers. Onions have layers. Askeladd has layers. Onions have layers? You get it. They both have layers. So you have a character, you introduce them, and then as the story continues you reveal more ways to understand the character, what we call layers. Almost like a curtain being pulled back from a painting, so there's more of that painting to see. The onion method doesn't need the character to change, because it provides character depth when the layers conflict with each other. The audience are more interested in the character because they're trying to work out a deliberate contradiction. How can layer A exist in the same onion as layer B if they're conflicting with each other? For an example, what's Askeladd's onion? Well, he's first introduced in episodes 2 and 3 as an evil boss of Danish Vikings. That's his first layer. His second layer is his manipulative nemesis father-son relationship with Thorfinn in episode 5 and beyond. And his final layer is shown in episode 13 as his secret loyalty to Wales and his status as the rightful king, which, you've got to remember, is a character archetype almost exclusively reserved for heroes. You can see because of what his layers are as a character, they're constantly in conflict with each other. Is he a villainous Danish pirate or a heroic Welsh rightful king? He hates the Danes despite leading them, and in his actions to protect Wales, he destroys Thorfinn's meaning to live. All of his layers are in constant friction with each other, and as a result, Askeladd becomes a character you become utterly engrossed in as you keep discovering new things about him and how messy, twisted, cunning, awesome, and horrible he is. Because let me be clear, Askeladd is an awful person. He is the villain of Vinland Saga Season 1, and yet his entire character progression allows you to see and understand his entire character, how he fits together and grinds what he values with himself alongside the people around him, and the conflict grows and grows until it comes to a cataclysm in that masterpiece of a season finale. So please, if you don't care for this writing nonsense, then let the takeaway of this video be to just watch or read Vinland Saga. It's some of the best seasons of television you can hope to find. However, back to the writing nonsense, if you want to try something similar in your own stories, what are some of the ways that can improve its execution? Number 1. The onion method benefits best from a longer story. A slower pace allows the audience to fully register that these new traits are actually part of the character, not just them acting out of character. Askeladd's onion was revealed over the course of an entire season, and the scenes that revealed his layers are deliberately slower. Number 2. It also helps if there aren't too many layers in a character. If the primary goal of the onion method is for the layers to conflict, then more layers will mean more types of conflicts for the audience to keep track of. 2 layers equals 1 conflict, 3 layers equal 3, and 4 layers equals 6. Askeladd manages 3 possible angles of conflict he can have, which are made more interesting as the same conflicts are explored in different ways. Like with his first layer, there's the big scale relationship with his crew, and the small scale relationship with Bjorn. Number 3. Remember that these aren't new layers to the character, they're new layers to the audience. It will make the character a lot more cohesive and easier to understand if they show signs of their layers before you fully reveal them. An example from Askeladd will be his valuing of Artorius throughout the season, whom the audience won't know until his final layer is revealed. And that's that. There's almost definitely more going on with Askeladd, but this is what I believe is the core of why he's so incredible. Now I'd recommend you watch my other videos, but there aren't any. This is my first one, as you can tell. So if you're looking for other channels to watch, please check out Schnee and Local Scriptman. They're amazing, I love them, au revoir.